I want to share with you the 3 P's you want to make sure that you are operating by anytime you invest in real estate, whether you're a passive or active investor. 3 P's. Number 1, you want to make sure you're making a reasonable profit. That's the first P. You got to make money. If you're investing money as a passive investor with another active investor, whether you are a private money lender, whether you are a limited partner, whether you have a joint venture, whatever your passive role is, you putting your money up, you better make sure it is a reasonable profit. Now, why am I saying reasonable profit? Well, because there's risk involved in real estate investing, like any investing, but there's definitely risk involved, okay? I'm an active investor. I know the risk. I know the rewards, but I ain't gonna shy away from the fact that we have a whole lot of risk. So you wanna make sure that your profits are reasonable. You can have your money sitting in a bank, a money market account, a CD, a stock, a bond. You can have your money sitting under your bed if you want to. It doesn't matter. But you wanna make sure that your profits are reasonable enough for you to take the risk that is inevitable, whether you're passive or active. The second P is you want to make sure that this investment is actually solving a problem. A lot of times, active investors like myself, we huff and puff and we flex and peacock and talk so much about the upside of the deal and why you should invest in deals like ours because of the extraordinary profits. But sometimes people like you and I who are informed, we ain't just thinking about the profits. We're also thinking about what problems are we solving. Let me give an example. Our primary way of investing is in distressed single-family properties, particularly here in Metro Atlanta. Every month we have auctions. We have foreclosures that take place literally every first Tuesday of the month. So when we reach out to these families with our home solutions service, we already know they have weeks. In most cases, they only have days before their home is going to be auctioned. And if they don't have any other choice, they have no other options. They can't do a loan mod. There are no more forbearance programs, no state-sponsored agencies that are going to assist them. They can't file for bankruptcy after the 3rd or 4th time in some cases. Guess what? Foreclosure auction is inevitable, but we step in, we're solving a problem for the homeowner who's gonna be homeless. We see this every month. For the family who's gonna be homeless, we're solving a problem for the community because that community, that neighborhood, especially if it's in an HOA community, they do not want a foreclosure because it lowers the value of other homes. We're solving a problem for the bank who ain't getting their money. And for the county, the city, and the insurance companies that are depending on the bank to pay those tax bills and insurance bills while that property is in foreclosure. So we're solving a problem for a lot of people. That's on the buying side for us. So that's what I mean when I say, yes, I want to make sure I'm making a reasonable profit, but I also want to make sure that I'm solving a problem. I feel good about myself to know that every day I wake up and I come in here and I start doing business with people who are in distressed situations, that I'm not just making a profit, but I know that I'm solving a problem. And this is a necessary service. The third P is I'm fulfilling a purpose. In other words, I have a why. Think about it. I want to make a profit, but I also want to solve a problem. And I also want to tie solving that problem to fulfilling a purpose. We all have a God-given purpose. I'm not saying your only purpose is to solve everybody's problem and to make profits. But at the end of the day, the Bible even says money answers all things. Think about everything that you got going on in your life and see how those things, good or bad, are tied to money. That means somebody's got to make a profit, generate some money to help solve that problem or to help elevate that area of your life. Now, back to my 3 Ps. The purpose has to be tied to the problem because a lot of times you don't really know what your purpose is until you start solving problems. And that's when you stumble across your purpose. See, my company, RP Capital, this is our real estate investment asset management company. We primarily focus on distressed properties. because again, we want to make profits, but we know we're solving a problem, and this is a part of my God-given purpose. For over 20 years, 2 decades, my wife and I have been serving families in the real estate community in all aspects. And I'm telling you, this is one of the most rewarding things that we do when it comes to helping distressed homeowners get out of that distress. Most of the time, they have to sell their homes to get out of that distress, but at least we've solved their problems and we made some profits in the process, and we're fulfilling a greater purpose, because while we help the homeowner who has to subsequently sell their home transition to their next level, when we fix the property up, rent it, or resell it, we're able to facilitate home ownership for a new homeowner. A lot of times we have our home ownership program that we work with our lender on to make sure that we can prepare people to own a home, or there are times that people who might not be able to typically rent a home, or who want to transition out of an apartment to rent a home before they buy a home, we provide those opportunities. So you see, we make profits, we solve a lot of problems, and we're fulfilling a purpose. So those are the 3 P's. You want to check those boxes, even if you're a passive investor. I say this all the time to my students, to my mentees, even to passive investors that I work with. So if you want some more information on how you can start dialing in on your 3 P's to make sure that you're making the right decision, don't hesitate to reach out to me. You can actually go to our website, RamonPrestonCapital.com. That's RamonPrestonCapital.com. There should be a link in the description. We have a private investor list that you can join. Of course, now you're going to have to fill the form out, give us a little information about yourself, let us know what your investment goals are. We actually schedule free investor calls to help direct you on what information, education that you might need to do whatever it is that you intend to do, to not only make profits, but to solve problems and to fulfill the purpose. Click the link in the description, complete the form, and I look forward to speaking to you.